spatial expansion. So it is extended in time and aerial coverage of the Phoenix metro area, not just the East Valley and parts of Phoenix now, but also the West Valley as well. So this polygon right here, that's our new dust storm warning. And again, I'm just going to peel back some of these layers because there's so much going on right now that there's a lot that you could miss if I have all these layers on here. So first, we're going to take off lightning. Just know we've got hundreds of lightning strikes coming down with this storm, so it is not safe to be outside. So boom, there goes the lightning. We'll take that off. For the moment, I'm also going to take off the radar so you can just see the alerts. Okay, so there's the alerts, and we've got severe thunderstorm warnings now for Phoenix, out near Queen Creek, out near Fountain Hill, stretching out toward Roosevelt Lake. There's our dust storm warning, 2 of them right now across the Phoenix metro area. This second one that has just been issued is going to go until 7:45 tonight. So again, a brand new dust storm warning for parts of the West Valley till 7:45 tonight because that big wall is continuing to push west. So that's where we're at right now. Let's go back to the radar, and I'm going to peel back the warnings this time so you can just see the rain, and we've got a lot of it. Downtown Phoenix right now and portions of central Phoenix just getting absolutely poured on. In fact, this center, which is lined up right along the 51 near the 51-202 interchange there, we've picked up more than 1/4 of an inch in the last 10 minutes. So it is just absolutely pouring in that part of Phoenix. And now over the last maybe 15 minutes, we're starting to see some of those heavier downpours push into parts of the East Valley. So you can see the loop here with me. We'll loop it again. One more time, going from light rain in the green to some really heavy downpours in the red, stretching from Superstition Springs Mall out toward downtown Mesa, out toward Tempe Marketplace. And we're going to see more of this build in over the next hour. So again, we've got a lot to track right now. It's going to be a very wet night here in the valley. I expect measurable rainfall in a lot of the gauges around town. So if you're watching us from the West Valley and it hasn't come yet, just wait. All of this is building in from the east and will continue to push through the Phoenix metro area over the next few hours. A few reminders: if you encounter dust and low visibility, make sure you stay inside. I know many of you are probably not watching us while you're driving. We usually give out the driving tips, but let me tell you what to do if you're at home. Do not go outside right now and try to clean your pool. You have to wait until all of this clears out. The lightning is going to be very dangerous, and you do not want to breathe in all of this dust that is pushing through as well. And again, over the next few hours, it's going to be dust, then rain and lightning, and then potentially after the rain, some localized street flooding. So do not attempt to cross through any flooded roadways as well. You just don't know how deep that water is going to be. We're going to keep tracking it for you. We also have crews in the field tracking it for you. Can we toss to Lillian right now and see what's happening in East Mesa? Lillian, I know you've been updating us from that part of the valley where a lot of this began. Can you tell us what's happening now?
Yeah, so right now we're kind of riding that front in toward Metro Phoenix. We are going north on Ellsworth Road, right near the Arizona Athletic Grounds, right near in between there and the Mesa Gateway Airport. And what we're seeing, of course, like you said, just so much pooling on the side of the roads, as well as this completely dump of water that we just got over the past 30 minutes. And as you can see north of us, where we're headed more towards 24 and even further, we're going to be going on to the 202 shortly to kind of see where all of that's really where the dark center of all of this is. For at least this part of town, we're seeing a lot of that hit Mesa, northern part of Gilbert. You know, if you are in North Scottsdale and you're looking south, you're going to see a lot of that dust. You're going to see that storm coming in from the southeast, pushing in toward that metro area. So like I said, we're going north here on Ellsworth. Just be careful. There's a lot of pooling on both sides of the road. So if you're anywhere in the southeast part of our valley, this is going to be, you're going to see plenty of that. You might see some debris here and there as we were driving through. There were even some trampolines that were toppled over and stuck on some folks' fences while we were more towards the Santan area. So we're going to be heading west on 24 here, going north onto the 202. But this is kind of what you're going to be seeing on the roadway. A lot of water and a lot of slow movement, especially on the roads right now, as folks are trying to be as careful as possible. But that rain is picking up. We're going through waves, right? You have a wave here, a wave there of rain. But right now it's pretty consistent. The further north you go, the stronger that is. Not to say that there isn't stuff to the south, but the larger pockets are going to be more towards that Mesa area, more towards that northern part of the 202, which is where we are headed. And we'll keep you updated, and we're going to bring it back to you guys in-house.
All right. Thank you, Lillian. Be safe out there. And this is from our studio, right above our studio. If you look to the right, you can see the windsock, and that thing is blowing. So we're hearing from some viewers out there. They're saying there is lightning above Sky Harbor Airport. Again, we're right across the street from Sky Harbor Airport. You can see the wind is blowing lots of dust in the air.
Yeah, a ton of dust out there and the lightning. And we've heard the rumbles here. And again, there are more than 40 flight delays tonight already at Sky Harbor. So if you have friends or family who you dropped off and they're waiting to take off, we'll just let them know that obviously they already know that those flights are delayed. But we've been watching this wall come in, and it did start obviously out in the Casa Grande area when Camilla was out there, and we've got that video we can show you again here, just showing you just how this gigantic wall started, and there's some lightning strikes taking place. This camera is really kind of messed up with the raindrops there. Can't really see much out there, but this is the original wall that really kind of started up, heading up from the southeast toward the valley here, and now it's grown in size.
And as we've seen in the past, I mean, it just picks up more and more dust, especially as dry as we've been lately, not having seen any rain, measurable rain, since late March.
I mean, it was like a spit of rain from last night's storms that came through. I think there was more dust on everything than rain from last night. So many of you are experiencing this right now in East Mesa. You can see the dust storm here out in the Mesa area as well. You know, it's somewhat beautiful to look at, but obviously you don't want to be stuck in it, and don't go out in it. I mean, we're asking you to capture videos for us and things of that nature, but we don't want you to go out in the middle of these dust storms either.
Yeah, looking again from this our studio, and this is right above on our helipad on our parking structure, and you can see that lightning right there. Whomever's out there, please be careful, because again, we're seeing some lightning, so get indoors. Please do not get hurt giving us a great shot like that. We have some cameras that can do that.
Yeah, fortunately right there, that shot, literally an arm out the door. I know that location on our parking garage there, so fortunately they weren't out in the middle of the parking area there. But look at just the width of that as it's made its way into the valley here. But the lightning, that's really telling the show. You look over at Amber's map and you can just see there are like hundreds of lightning strikes throughout the series of this right now.
Yeah, let's take that full if we can. Live look at ABC15 Desert Doppler, and the lightning strike counter is on there. Over the last hour, it's been between about 200 and 300 lightning strikes here across central Arizona. A lot of this now starting to move into the valley, Apache Junction, Phoenix, Mesa. These are some really powerful storms coming in. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for central Phoenix, and some other severe thunderstorm warnings out for far eastern portions of the valley until about 7 or 7:30 tonight. We've got flood advisories now issued down near Florence and Coolidge. A lot of rain coming down there earlier this evening. And as we take a look at the 202 right now, visibility is getting low as that rain pours down. Dust threats continue in the West Valley. I know if you're watching us from the West Valley tonight, you haven't seen a whole lot of rain yet, but the dust is coming through. We've got a dust storm warning out there, and the rain should follow. Right now, the strongest storms through the heart of central Phoenix and for areas across the East Valley, but they are going to be moving from the East Valley to the West Valley over the next hour. So here's what we're going to do. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to go into programming on ABC15, but you can continue to watch us on any streaming device by searching ABC15 Arizona. And we are going to continue our storm coverage on this wild monsoon night because the threat is so high for flooded roads, for dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning, and for blinding dust. So Monsoon 2026 in full force here tonight, and we are going to stay with you on all of our streaming services through at least the next 30 minutes or so as this threat continues. Just a reminder, dust storm warnings continue for parts of the West West Valley. For the East Valley, we still have one lingering, but dust isn't your biggest problem right now. The rain is pouring down, so that one should expire on time. This other one for the West Valley going until later on this evening. The exact expiration time is 7:45 for that dust storm warning in the West Valley. Again, join us on our streaming services as we continue to track Monsoon 2026 on this ABC 15 Weather Action Night. We are tracking a lot of monsoon storms moving into the valley tonight. It started out with dust, and we still have some lingering dust storm warnings, especially for the West Valley until about 7:45. But now the rain is starting to fill in. Mesa Gateway got over a ½ inch of rain in just the last 30 minutes. And you can see how much lightning is with these storms as well. Our lightning strike counter between 200 and 300 strikes over the last hour. So much lightning, it's actually hard to see the rain. I'm going to peel that layer back for just a moment here and show you what's happening on ABC 15 Desert Doppler in terms of these downpours. We still have heavy rain coming right through the heart of Phoenix right now, and a severe thunderstorm warning for this part of the valley until 7:15 tonight. So we're getting soaked at Sky Harbor, soaked here at our ABC15 studios, and that rain is stretching up toward Deer Valley tonight and also back toward the East Valley. We've got pockets of heavy rain in Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, and Queen Creek tonight as well. So as you look at the radar, the green is lighter rain. Once you start to get up into the oranges and reds, those are really heavy downpours, and they're coming down in a lot of neighborhoods here tonight. So at this point, with the rain in the mix and the lightning, it is not safe to be outside right now here in the Phoenix metro area. So stay inside till after these storms pass, but we've got a few hours to go. We're also tracking winds, and wind gusts have been over 50 miles per hour with some of these storms. As you look at ABC15 Desert Doppler with me on the velocity scope, it looks like we're getting some outflow winds from that storm over central Phoenix right now. The way you read this, the green areas are indicating winds traveling toward the radar, which is down at Mesa Gateway, so near Queen Creek. The red are winds traveling away from the radar. So when you see these two kind of side by side together here, it shows that we're getting some kind of a downburst coming out of there. Winds flowing just hitting the ground and then flowing out in all directions for that part of the valley. So high winds, and also the threat for lightning, flooded roads, heavy rain. We are really seeing it all tonight on ABC15 Desert Doppler. A reminder that we've got dust storm warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and flood advisories across central Arizona. As far as the alerts go, the green polygons are those flood advisories. We're seeing them out near Florence and Coolidge. For the orange areas, these are the severe thunderstorm warned areas. So we've got one out near Apache Junction stretching north along the Beeline Highway, one for central Phoenix as well. And then everything that's kind of a tan color, those are dust alerts. So we've got it all out there. I'm going to send it over to Javi and Craig. You guys, this is leading to a lot of power outages across the Phoenix metro area too.
No, it certainly is. And as you look at this map here, I want to show you the purples. Those are like the big areas. So like the Apache Junction area that really got hit kind of first with this, they are over 6,500 customers in the dark right now. Those are SRP customers, and you can see the different colors as you go on to the Phoenix area. You're talking, you know, some neighborhoods have a couple hundred, others have 800, over 1,000 there with the purple again in the Phoenix area near where the station here on 44th Street.
Yeah, and we've really watched the storm as it picked up from the southeast and just continued to cause power outage after power outage. And in some areas, we're looking at least an hour and a half before they are able to restore that power. Now, that's the SRP map. So if you're an SRP customer, this is what you're looking at. Now, the APS outage map, not as many affected right now. We're looking at about 741 customers near Picacho Peak. In the Phoenix metropolitan area, there's about 59 customers affected at this point. They look like restoration time not until about 7:55, so not bad at all.
And some of these systems, when we've talked about this before, the smart systems that are in play here, sometimes these power systems go down, but then they self-heal and will reconnect. And so that'll be part of it. Obviously, the other component of this will be the linemen who are going out, once it's safe to do so, going out and tagging. We so appreciate those crews that go out in this weather and get those lines and get the fuses and the systems back up online. So we're going to continue to monitor that. Meanwhile, we do have crews out in the field as well.
Yeah, those men and women will be working around the clock to make sure that they get your power restored. We want to head out to our Lillian Donahue. She's in our live drive right now near Brown and Ellsworth between East Mesa and Apache Junction. You've been at this for about an hour or so now. What do you see now?
Yeah, right now we're seeing, obviously, things are getting darker out here as the sun, you know, is nowhere to be seen at this point, but we can see plenty of lightning. That's really the number one word I have for at least this eastern side of this monsoon storm here is lightning, lightning, lightning. As soon as we got through that dust cloud, that's when you saw the rain and that lightning out here on the east side. We are going south on Ellsworth right now. This is just east of the 202 in East Mesa as we're coming up on East University Drive, south as well towards East Main Street, towards that, more towards downtown Mesa area as well. Just kind of showing you just how much rain is coming down. This place has already been completely saturated. The ground is completely saturated, but it's not letting up just yet over here on this east side. We know that we've seen the front end of a lot of those storms make their way into the metro area. But this, especially in the East Mesa, Apache Junction area, you're still going to be seeing a lot of wind. You're going to be seeing a lot of rain, and just like that, you're going to see a lot of lightning coming out of, you think that it's done. You think that, oh, maybe things are starting to lighten up, and then all of a sudden the clouds get dark and it gets quite loud with that wind, and then you see the lightning as well. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We are going east on University. We just turned from Ellsworth to University, going east toward Apache Junction. So this is kind of what you're going to be seeing. Another thing to keep in mind, especially east of the 202, is there's going to be a lot of these roads that are butting a lot of that desert landscape. It's something that we love so much about our area, is that we have that urban interface, wildland interface, but what that brings to us is a lot of opportunity for runoff from the desert. So as you can see on the right and the left sides here, as we're going towards Apache Junction, as much as I was just saying that we have so much of that runoff on each side, so much of that lightning as well that's happening currently. And as I'm driving right now, you can kind of hear the rain is starting to pick up. The wind is starting to pick up. So the wind is intermittent. You can go through a few pockets here where that wind is a little bit lighter, and then you have a stronger gust like we're in right now, where it's purely coming this way. It's coming from the east and then pushing west right now. So we're gonna bring it back out to you, Amber, see kind of, you can explain, I'm sure in many more scientific terms than I can, exactly what we're seeing out here.
I mean, you nailed it. We've got a lot of rain out there. We've got runoff happening. It's the roads causing a lot of it, because the roads cannot absorb any of that. So we actually need our landscape and our other desert areas to try to absorb it. But we've been so dry lately too that in a lot of cases there's just been this hard crust that has developed on the soil over this really, really warm and dry spring that has led up to this monsoon season. So make sure if you come across any flooded roadways that you do not attempt to drive through them. You do not know how deep that water is underneath. We're also getting another live look right now from another part of the valley that I want to take you to right now, 16th Street and Northern. You can see the rain, a little bit of dust there, especially on the right-hand side of your screen. Just looks a little brown and hazy there. And of course, the wind's whipping around. We've had wind gusts well over 50 miles per hour in parts of the valley tonight. And with that severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect for central Phoenix, that carries the potential of wind gust over 60 miles per hour. So far, the highest wind gust we've seen at Sky Harbor is 53. We've got a lot of rain coming down over central Phoenix as well, and I'm working to get us some rainfall totals from the Flood Control District of Maricopa County. They operate the most expansive network of rain gauges across the Phoenix metro area, and for this central Phoenix cell, we've seen rainfall totals anywhere from about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and that's just in the last 30 minutes. So that goes from basically downtown Phoenix up to where you're seeing this live shot, 16th Street and Northern, and then back over the Papago Buttes area where the zoo is as well. All of these spots seeing those heavy downpours under this severe thunderstorm warning till 7:15 tonight. You're taking a look at some of our cameras, our valley cameras here that we have for you. Dark skies. A lot of these helping us to capture the dust earlier as it initially moved through. If you're watching us from the West Valley tonight, you are still under a dust storm warning until 7:45. We did have a dust storm warning issued for the East Valley as well until 7:15, but East Valley folks, you know this is way more about the rain and lightning at this point for you than it is about the dust. We continue to see that dust move west, so places like Glendale, Goodyear, Luke Air Force Base, Litchfield Park, even Surprise and Peoria could be dealing with that dust for at least the next 30 minutes, but the rain is likely to follow. In fact, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, as we track it on ABC15 Desert Doppler, you can see the movement there from east to west. So right now, the heaviest downpours in the heart of Phoenix and across the East Valley, those are going to be pushing west over the next hour. There's the 202 and Arizona Avenue, though, and you can see just how much rain is coming down. Some of those raindrops collecting on the lens there. And of course, you can see just the reflection from the car lights off of that wet roadway. That light beam spreads a whole lot more when the ground is wet. So you can see that out there as well. This storm is going to bring, again, some rainfall totals for some of us, the first of monsoon 2026, and some measurable stuff in a lot of valley gauges by the time that this storm wraps up in the next couple of hours. hours. But for now, as you look live at ABC15 Desert Doppler with me, you can see the heaviest stuff right through the heart of Phoenix. More heavy rain out to the east, and everything is pushing to the west at this hour. I'm going to throw the lightning back on, put this into motion. We are still seeing lots of lightning strikes moving in. For Phoenix, it's about 50 or so, but you can see out to the east just how lit up the night sky is tonight. And know that anytime you hear thunder, which we've been hearing a lot of, even here in our building, it is not safe to be outside. The rule is you want to go inside and wait there for at least 30 minutes after you hear the last clap of thunder in order for it to be safe to go back out. And this is not just rain and lightning, it's ripping stuff up. Javi and Craig, we've got so many power outages right now. And so it's also important for people to remember some of those power outage tips, especially if you have medications that you need to keep cool. Just leave the refrigerator and the freezer closed.
Yeah, don't go in for snacks. Keep those things closed
Dry
right
snacks
now.
only until your power comes back on.
Yeah, just a couple of those tips. Keep refrigerator and freezer doors closed to keep your food as fresh as possible. If you must eat that food that was refrigerated or frozen, check it carefully for signs of spoilage. Here's another tip. Turn off or disconnect appliances, equipment like air conditioners or electronics in use when the power goes out. Power might return with momentary surges or spikes that can damage your computers as well as your motors and appliances. So
yeah, the new 85-inch TV you just got, you don't want to blow that up. Exactly. Expecting power hopefully to be back on around 8 o'clock for most of the outages that are going on right now. Shout out to the several hundred people who are streaming us on different platforms right now. I was on our YouTube channel watching now. There's like 430 people there. Most of them celebrating this rain coming through. Reading some of their comments here. They're just excited to finally have rain. Many people over in the West Valley saying that I haven't seen anything yet. I'm seeing the dust and the wind. Amber says it is coming, so just wait for that.
And
they're saying
if not tonight, you've got
this whole week.
The rest of the week.
Every single day this week. That's important to note because we're also tracking, let me get a little science nerdy on you. We're tracking what's called an inverted trough. And these are like weak storm systems that track across Mexico backwards. So instead of moving from California out to the east, they track from east to west. And as those things track to our south, they serve as a trigger to work with our monsoon moisture. So we're going to have plenty of monsoon moisture in place, and now we're going to have this little disturbance to provide the instability we need. So come Thursday and Friday, it could be just as wild as this.
And that's a good thing. We need the moisture.
Need the rain.
Just not all at one time.
Exactly, but isn't that the story of the monsoon?
Actually, I was talking about the delays earlier. Right now, I just got my word from Nils, our producer, that there is a ground stop now at Sky Harbor. So if you are planning to head there for a flight, just know that there is a ground stoppage taking place right now.
That's right across the street from us here at the studio, and we were getting hit
We're getting hit hard. Let's take a look at that. I want the producer back there to take my weather computer full for just a second, because this is the storm that's causing the ground stop at Sky Harbor. I do want to show you, this is our severe thunderstorm right now till 7:15 tonight. You can see the heart of Phoenix there, Sky Harbor, right where a lot of these lightning strikes are hitting. So we've got lightning in the mix, the heavy rain, the gusty winds. This is kind of the worst of it right now in Phoenix, and it's right over the airport. So yes, it's going to cause problems. Notice though, out east, we've got more storms that could potentially continue to track to the west. So again, West Valley folks, you could get some as we head through the next several hours. But again, we really need the rain. We do. But I want everybody to stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. Stay inside, especially as this lightning comes through, because if you're the tallest thing around, it's very likely you're going to get struck.
Well, good thing I'm only 5'10".
Yeah,
so
you'll be fine, Craig.
I'm okay.
Me too.
When you talk about this series of rain
safe.
this week, obviously we talk about the runoff, right? The ground can only soak up so much. So really, looking at the series of storms that are potential for this week, having kind of that little break, it soaks in, maybe every day we can get a little bit to hold on to.
And statewide, I think, part of the monsoon is spotty stuff. So not every spot gets hit, usually day after day after day after day. But we are definitely going to see an increased flash flood risk by Friday if we keep getting rain like this. And the other thing is to watch out for anywhere near wildfire burn scars. So today we had a flash flood warning up near the Pocket Fire in Sedona. And what happens during the wildfires is they scorch the land, and it essentially acts like concrete for years after those fires happen, and it can't absorb anything. It just runs right off.
Yeah, and that area, I mean, that was scorched for the last couple of weeks, and so
Yeah.
they're finally getting a hold of this. I think it was at 70% earlier today. Hopefully they got some rain with all this up there that could douse that fire completely.
Yeah.
We do have some new video that just came in we want to show you here. Is this out on the interstate? What area is this? Do you know, Nils? 202 heading through North Scottsdale area on the 202. So folks, fortunately slowing down, you know, which we love to see. Visibility not too bad though, really, overall there.
You see all that puddling though. I mean, you know, this is probably 30 minutes after it hit that area and it's quickly puddling. And that's good to see that those drivers are slowing down. You got to be careful out there, especially following the dust storm that rolls through.
And of course, this is a familiar shot out our front door.
Yeah.
Here again, 44th Street near Van Buren, and again near the airport where we've seen the rain come through, obviously kind of calming down a little bit now. Here's some videos sent in from Drew Robinson near 24th Avenue in Montecito. High winds and rain, the pool, a lot of people get concerned with their pools, you know, filling up and overflowing whenever they get these downpours, and all the debris that goes in there as well. You can see some good runoff there from the rooftops.
Yeah, and that's an important point, though. You put that rainwater in your pool, now you've affected the chemicals, so everyone's going to have to be, checking it tomorrow and maybe shocking the pool to get it back to where it needs to be.
Not to mention, if you get too much water, at one point you're going to have to drain it just a little bit to release some of that water.
Yeah.
Take
Guys, I'm still hearing a lot of thunder out there, too. Do you hear those rumbles right here over the station?
Look at this. Oh, they changed that
they
shot.
Changed the clip that we were getting ready to
look at. If we can get that
there.
one shot, I mean, that's an incredible shot, and it kind of gives you a glimpse of everything that's going on here in the valley with the dust storm. There's that shot right there. Look at this. I mean, that's looking out toward Camelback Mountain. You could see it covered in dust or that's just a picture, but it's covered in dust, and you can see those clouds high above.
Camelback of the 51 looking toward the East Valley. That's actually from photojournalist Danny Bavaro there from,
what a shot.
From his drone. Yeah, beautiful shot there.
So we'll have an idea what category dust storm this was tomorrow. There's a brand new Phoenix dust storm scale that has been developed. In fact, there were a lot of us that worked on this project over the last few years, spearheaded by Randy Cerveny at ASU, but I got a chance to be a part of that group as well, to have our dust scale peer reviewed and now published, and last night's dust storm was a Cat 3, and we'll know tomorrow how intense tonight's dust storm was based on the concentration of dust recorded at air quality monitors across the valley. At this point, though, it's turning more from a dust event to a rain event, and I do want to show you we have a brand new flood advisory. This is for basically the same areas of Metro Phoenix where we had the severe thunderstorm warning. So the severe thunderstorm warning expired about 3 minutes ago. Now we have this flood advisory issued. It's going to go till 10:15 tonight. Let me get the text here from the National Weather Service and their specific alert here on this flood advisory. They're saying areas in this part of Phoenix picked up anywhere from a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain. That's what we're seeing on the flood control gauges from Maricopa County as well, more so around the ½ inch or so. And that is going to lead to runoff and street flooding. And so that flood advisory until 10:15 tonight goes for central Phoenix up toward Paradise Valley, up the 51 to the Dreamy Draw there, and then back out towards Scottsdale and out near Tempe Marketplace too. So a lot of rain still coming down, a lot of lightning and thunder. We can still hear those rumbles of thunder every once in a while right here over our ABC15 studios because we're still kind of in the thick of it. And then farther back to the east, the severe thunderstorm warning tonight till 7:30. This is going to be for Fountain Hills and out toward Canyon Lake. You can see all of this pushing from the east to the west tonight and weakening as it moves in, but still causing some heavy downpours. I do expect that severe thunderstorm warning to expire at 7:30 tonight. Still continuing with the dust storm warning, though, for the West Valley. There's that thunder again, and that dust storm warning for the West Valley till 7:45. But you guys, this is just a very active monsoon night. We do have crews all across the valley helping to cover this and keep us all safe in the storm. I want to toss it back to Lillian Donahue, who's been out helping us track this in ABC 15 Live Drive tonight. Lillian, your shot's incredible with all of that lightning in the distance.
I it really is. It shows the power of the monsoon. It shows how you have all of those pockets of light that are kind of coming through on that west side. You can see over to the left, but then to the right, just how absolutely dark and sort of menacing it looks. And you have all of that lightning. We really haven't been given much of a break from the lightning, even though we have breaks from the rain here and there. We're currently in a break from the rain. You're still going to see all of that lightning above you. And so this is what you're seeing if you're going to be out on the 202. Like we always say, don't go out if there is severe weather like this right now. However, this is kind of what we're looking at on certain parts of the 202, right? We're going west here out of East Mesa, heading more towards downtown, but we know that this area did get just pelted with water and rain. I talked about this earlier, especially on those side streets. You're gonna see runoff from the desert. You're gonna see runoff, especially if there's places where it just can't go anywhere else but onto the roadway. Right now here on the 202, it looks pretty clean, looks pretty clear, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily out of the clear. When we turned onto this from Brown Road in East Mesa, there was some debris on that on-ramp on the way in. So things can change in a matter of 1 to 2 minutes, even as we've been driving. I would just say even over the past 15 minutes, as things have started to, peter out in certain areas, but then pick up in other areas, we've just been noticing those pockets of rain getting sporadic. Less so giant globs of rain like earlier, more so these very strong pockets. One neighborhood's getting hit and then another neighborhood, and then you might drive through and you might not have any rain. But the main thing that we're seeing across the board here is that wind, is seeing that incredible lightning that we're not getting a break of here. Of course, that increased risks across the board, so you don't want to be outside in an electrically charged storm as well. You want to be away from windows. You don't necessarily want to take your chances when it comes to things that have this many strikes that are happening all at once. So we're gonna toss back to our anchors right now, and I know you guys are also looking at outages. We've gotten outage reports as well. I mean, it's not surprising in looking at the power of at least the backside of this storm as we've been following this wall in, that there's going to be some power issues here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Lillian, there are tons and tons of outages, and you can actually see them on the map all the way from the southeast all the way through Phoenix downtown with the path of
It
the
followed
storm.
that path for sure. This is a live look from out across our studio. You can see the windsock right to your right still blowing out there, and it's raining. Just a short while ago, we heard some thunder.
Yeah, the lightning is definitely continuing here. You're talking, what, 60, well, now we're down to at least a little bit less, 64 strikes it says there over on Amber's map here. So maybe decreasing a little bit, maybe
well,
some
back
energy
up to 89.
leaving.
That's an hour-long loop. So from 64 to 89. But yes, generally decreasing, because just like 30 minutes ago, we were talking 200 to 300.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
After, give us a little tutorial on what we're looking at.
That's what I'm here for. Listen,
that's why you're doing what you
do. We have a lot to track. A flood advisory for Central Phoenix. I was just tracking some of the rainfall totals that are coming in through the flood control district gauges. And if you're in the Perry Park area, this is 32nd Street in Thomas. We've picked up about an inch of rain there already in the last 30 to 45 minutes. So that's why we have this flood advisory issued for parts of Phoenix. I know it's hard to see on the radar, so let me just take the radar off for a hot second here. And the lightning. There's the green polygon. So we're talking from Central Phoenix up the 51 out towards Scottsdale, down toward Tempe Marketplace. If you're anywhere within that polygon, looks like a square, you are under this flood advisory until 10:15 tonight. So heavy rain, a big concern. Dust, less so moving forward. But we do have lots of lightning in the mix as well. So again, not safe to be outside until all of this lightning clears out. Here's the good news with all of this. Of course, with the rain comes some cooler air. You guys, we hit 108 earlier this afternoon. Right now, Phoenix Sky Harbor is down to 81 degrees. So a big drop in temperatures.
Stoppage out there as well. Ground stoppage at
Yeah.
Sky Harbor as well, because right in your polygon there, where
That's
all this
where
activity
it
is.
Yeah, but the cooler air sure does feel nice. Wait until the storms roll out of here. And you know what? We want all of you to be a part of our weather community as well. So if you happen to capture weather and videos and photos, if it's safe to do so, we want to see it. Just email us, and it's really easy to remember, share@abc15.com, because you want to share it with us. So please do.
Allison Kelly right here with some video.
There you go.
She did it. There she
20th
is.
Street and Camelback.
And she's showing us the heavy rain. You can see the wind as well. That's a big tree right there blowing in the wind. But we know that you guys out there are seeing a lot of this, and we can't tell the story without you.
Now to Camelback and 18th Street here, you can see some video in that area. You can see just obviously wind and rain, kind of the same situation we've seen elsewhere. And of course, tomorrow we'll see the aftermath, maybe even tonight with our crews out, about some of these trees that'll just snap and, you know, limbs will come off. And the damage that'll come from that as well.
Here's another shot of a pool getting pelted, and we'll pull that up right here.
I can.
This is from viewer Chico in South Phoenix, and he's showing his backyard pool. Beautiful backyard right there, but that's getting pounded with some rain.
Yeah, Chico giving us this video here as well. Just the formation of the clouds as the system came through. Nice little time lapse there. Look at the bottom. You can see the dust cloud forming as well. So nice little time lapse there. Chico going the extra mile. We appreciate that.
All right, and we want to show you this other shot from our reporter Camilla. She was out in Casa Grande just earlier tonight. That's when that dust storm was rolling in. We don't have that shot available, but here's that shot right there. And that was as that dust storm was rolling in. That's really where it originated, out in Casa Grande, and then started moving toward the valley and is here now.
And I believe this is 16th and Northern in that area, 16th Street and Northern, and you can see winds calming down a little bit there. And I mean, that's what happens with this storm. I mean, it comes through, it's like chaos, and all of a sudden you're like, what happened?
Yeah, and it's on to the next area.
Yeah. And Amber, just saw some good flashes there. Some good lightning flashes there, Amber.
Yeah, I'm still hearing the thunder here at the station as well. This one doesn't want to move on. The storm is just sitting right over the heart of Phoenix. I do want to show you on ABC 15 Desert Doppler, though. If you're watching us from the West Valley, you're now starting to get your turn. So we've got new pop-ups from Peoria to Surprise, kicking out lightning, heavy downpour there as well along Grand Avenue. And we're going to see more of this over the next hour or so. But let's get back to this Phoenix storm. We've got dozens of lightning strikes still impacting central Phoenix and out near Sky Harbor. That ground stop in effect as well. And really heavy rain, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch reported in this part of Phoenix already tonight. Flood advisory until 10:15. The other thing with this storm, I mentioned it doesn't really want to move on. Well, the winds flowing out of it are moving on. And as we look at our velocity scope here on ABC 15 Desert Doppler, anytime we see these greens right next to the red, it indicates to me that this is downbursting a little bit. Red winds are going away from the radar, green coming in to the radar, and right side by side, that's showing some really strong potential outflows coming out of here. And that's kind of what we're seeing on ABC 15 Desert Doppler, and also on our sites across the valley. We have a wind gust at Sky Harbor at 53 miles per hour, and wind gusts pretty similar to that, anywhere from about 45 to 60 miles per hour with the wind gust across parts of Phoenix over the last hour or so. You're looking at ABC 15 live drive near Sky Harbor. So we have multiple live drives going tonight, one in the East Valley, one here at Sky Harbor, giving us a shot of what's happening as that rain pours down tonight. Roads are getting slick out there, so you can see a lot of people kind of pumping their brakes to slow things down, which is a good idea. You want to take it slow here as that water ponds on the roadways, and if it starts to fill up, don't attempt to cross any flooded roadways because you just don't know how deep it is underneath. Lots of power outages as well. I'm hearing restoration times right about 8 o'clock or so, but if this storm keeps going, it might end up getting delayed, so we'll keep you posted on that. I do want to take it back out to Lillian Donahue right now for another update. She's been helping us track these storms all night. Lillian, you're still getting rained on out there. What are the winds like? Is that car getting pushed around a bit in the wind?
Yeah, it was certainly, especially when we were up on the highway, when you're a little bit higher than, you know, obviously right now we have a little bit more buffer on either side of the road since we're off the highway now, but we could certainly feel that wind. I mean, the bigger aspect when we're driving is that wind coming in from the east and pushing west. So if you're driving north and south, you're going to feel that more on the side of your car. If you're driving east-west, you're either going to be driving straight into it, or you're going to be it's going to be coming in from behind you as well. But like I said earlier, we just keep coming in and out of these pockets of rain, seeing a lot of this lightning as well. We're checking out, different debris or different damage calls that we've gotten in from our viewers. So thank you guys so much for letting us know what's going on in the community. So if you are in the East Valley, if you're near the north side or anywhere here in Mesa, please let us know. Right now we're on near McDowell Road, more towards North Mesa on this side of things, and the rain has certainly let up on this side of the storm. We know that it's definitely pushed in, and but as so far as we've noticed, just a lot of that moisture everywhere, just a lot of pooling, and that wind comes in and out. We'll come into a big burst of it, and then it'll get better. But something you'll notice as you are on the highway, it's going to be saying, low visibility. Still heed those warnings even when you don't feel like, I think I'm out of the woods here, because when it comes to something like this, it just changes so quickly every other minute. But you guys are definitely back there able to give me that 30,000 foot perspective. Speaking of thousands of feet of perspective, we know that there are thousands of people out of power right now, and that is a big deal, especially during the summer, especially during monsoon season. I think our anchors are tracking that right now. What are we seeing for those power outages currently?
Total, we have about 5,000 customers without power. That's APS and SRP. Right now, you're looking at the APS outage map. Right in metropolitan Phoenix area, we're looking at Papago Freeway to Van Buren. There's about 320 customers without power there. Estimated restoration time not until about 10:40. You got another portion of the Phoenix metropolitan area, Moreland to Roosevelt, 31st Avenue to 27th Avenue. There's 134 customers there. You go over to SRP, and they're really getting the thick of it. And we've watched this storm just come up from the southeastern portion of the valley and work its way through. Again, that's a big majority of those customers without power. You look in Chandler, there's about 782 customers without power. That's Gilbert to Quartz, Fry to Queen Creek. Their restoration time at about 8:25, so about an hour from now.
And we're going to take a look out at the 202 right now, and you can see obviously the roads are wet. No heavy downpours in these shots. You can see the rain drops on the lens of the camera here. The camera's still bouncing around a little bit with the winds out there, but for the most part in this particular area, it seems to have kind of it's gone through. It's just kind of general rain. The green, as Amber points out on the radar, there's nothing too severe. It's just kind of general rain coming down in this area. I started looking at some security cameras out over in the Surprise area, and it's getting dark over there, and it's starting to approach. What part of that, I don't know yet, if that's wind or is that a severe, because it's pretty dark on the cameras that I'm seeing out there.
Yeah, it's probably the rain coming down, depending on the part of the northwest valley you're talking about. We do have some downpours from Surprise to Peoria. Otherwise, it's just the darkening of the skies.
Okay.
Yeah, there also is a bit of dust coming through still for the West Valley, but at this point, Peoria to Surprise up along the 60. It's pouring so hard, dust is not your problem anymore.
Yeah,
Dust isn't it?
And that's a good thing, right? As we get this rain,
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
in the days ahead, we shouldn't get as much of a dust storm with it starting to
We really
settle
needed it after the weekend. The air quality was just horrendous over the weekend with all of that dust.
Even on Saturday, when I drove out and had to go run some errands, I couldn't see the white
hazy.
tanks. I couldn't see anything.
It was grotesque.
Yeah.
So thankfully, the rain is coming to kind of wash it all out.
Seeing some pretty good lightning still on the camera there that we just were on. Now we switched it to another live shot. This is from our back studio, right? Yeah, this is off the back of the building here towards the Papago.
All right, guys, that flood advisory just got upgraded to a flash flood warning. So let me take you back to the maps here real quick. Flash flood warning in effect until 9:30 tonight. Red polygon, same areas we were talking about the flood advisory in. We have had over an inch of rain at Perry Park now, 1.14 inches to be exact. This is 32nd Street and Thomas with over an inch of rain. Flash flooding is occurring now in this part of the Phoenix metro area. Let me peel back some layers here. I'll take off the lightning for a moment just so that you can kind of get a better picture as to what we're talking about here. I'm even going to take off the radar just for a minute so that we can see the topography here and see exactly what parts of Phoenix we're talking about. So this goes from central Phoenix. There's Sky Harbor included, although on the south side of Sky Harbor, the rainfall totals are kind of pathetic. For the official gauge, it's only a few hundredths of an inch so far, but you go just north of here up toward Arcadia, and that's where we're talking a half an inch to an inch of rain. So Uptown, Arcadia, Paradise Valley, out toward McCormick Ranch, kind of lined up just to the west of the Loop 101 all the way down into Tempe. So there's our flash flood warning. It's going to go until 9:30 tonight. There's the radar back on. You can see not only have we already gotten a half an inch to an inch of rain, it's still pouring in a lot of these places. The rain is still coming down. So we are going to have some big time issues in low-lying areas. We're going to see some flooding along streets and we're going to see that water move in places. It's going to fill up in parks, and we're going to see it move through the streets as well in this part of the valley. So watch out for that flash flood warning till 9:30 tonight. Don't go out driving in this very dangerous situation as that water comes off. And we do have an ADOT as well to kind of show us what's happening. This is actually 202 at Arizona Avenue, so it's back out to the east, but it's still raining and we still have some standing water on the side there. I expect the picture to be a whole lot worse for parts of Phoenix that have already gotten over an inch of rain. And I'm just looking at the flood control gauges, just got an update seconds ago, and now we're talking an inch and a quarter at Perry Park, 1.26 inches of rain near 32nd Street and Thomas. So that's probably going to be the worst of it as far as flooding goes across the valley tonight. But we still got the rain coming down, and we still got a lot of rain now moving into parts of the West Valley as well. So we're going to stay on top of this and continue tracking the situation as these storms continue to push through. I don't think you got to worry too much about that dust storm warning for the West Valley at this point, unless you're out near White Tanks. You haven't seen a whole lot of rain yet. But for other areas farther back to the east and north, Surprise, Glendale, down toward Levine, the rain's starting to come down now. So we're starting to wash a lot of that dust out in the area. Javi, Craig, still a lot of power outages too, and with the rain still coming down, crews aren't able to get out there as quickly, so it may be a little bit longer on those restoration times.
The last restoration time I looked was at 10:40, and so it's going to be some time, you know, as more and more power goes out across the valley. Let's go back out to our Lillian Donahue. She's been in the thick of this. It looks like thankfully it's at least clearing out, not as hazy as what we saw you right in the thick of it earlier.
Yeah, you know, the thick of it is perfectly right. We're getting a slight break of the thick of it right now as we're taking a breath. We're here on 202. We're going westbound, actually, more towards Tempe, West Mesa area. We're going to be checking out a lot of those areas that Amber was just talking about. You know, those spots where there might be some of that flooding, especially off of the highway. Now, on the highway, I will say, you know, it's been pretty clear sailing so far. You're gonna see some debris as you're coming on and off in certain areas that got hit pretty hard. So if we're talking East Mesa, just be careful for all of that. So like I said, we're on the 202. We're heading west right now toward Tempe. You can kind of see Tempe coming over here on the horizon shortly, as where we're headed towards the 101 as well. So we can see definitely from our vantage point those pockets of rain, those strikes of rain coming down through the very last bits of sunset that I can have over here on the right. And we're going to be heading really west into town here. There are still some folks that have decided to pull over, and we've noticed that throughout the evening, is that, you know, when we have had these massive downpours of rain, people are pulling over, they're putting their hazards on, driving slowly. I think, you know, the biggest thing is if there is a way to get off the roadway completely, get off the highway. If you're concerned about driving on the highway during this type of weather, certainly I would stay off of that. But if you are off the highway, we are seeing way more pooling on both sides. I wouldn't go so far to say as full-on flooding over on the roads. There were some spots that were a little shaky out towards Apache Junction, where we saw a lot more water covering, large pockets of the road if you're kind of turning into a neighborhood, right? A lot of those turns, they dip down naturally for irrigation. I mean, thank goodness that's why we, have roads built that way, but that will hold a lot of the water when you have that much water come down. That lightning count, you guys are saying it's going down. I also can agree that the lightning has gone down, but we're still seeing some pretty big, bright lightning strikes here and there as we're driving here on the 202 westbound. But you guys are definitely right on target with what we're seeing out here as we're making our way into town, into Tempe, kind of following on the back end, seeing what kind of damage there is. Like I said, not a ton of damage. We're getting some reports from north part of the valley with some tree limbs down over walls, things like that, pretty typical of a monsoon storm, but nothing super egregious that we can see just yet on our roadways. That doesn't mean it's not out there, so I will always say if it seems clear, don't trust it. Like I said just a few minutes ago, we were kind of taking a break from the wind and the rain, and we're driving right back into it. So if that gives you any idea of what it's like out here, it's touch and go depending on where you are, and it'll change by the minute. Back to you all.
All right, Lillian, thank you. You mentioned some possible debris or trees down or what have you. I'm looking through the Phoenix Regional Dispatch Center, and they have a number of incidents tied to power lines being down, and it ranges from 35th Avenue, Bell area, and there's just a ton of different locations, 19th Avenue and Campbell, 5100 East Flower Street, 3700 East McDowell Road. So there's just tons of different incidents that they are checking out for possible lines down. And with that said, keep in mind that if you have power lines down in your neighborhood, do not approach them, do not drive over them. You can call 911, you can report that they're down, but avoid them at all costs. And of course, we've done those stories where if those power lines happen to land on your car, stay in your car. That's the safest place to be. But if it is an emergency, your car suddenly catches fire because of the situation that you're in, then you can get out. You do the bunny hop directly from the car. You do a bunny hop away from the scene. But again, there are reports of power lines down, which obviously we've seen the power outages and the concerns that are going on. So
yeah, you got to be careful. And this is the time of year where we can't tell you enough. Just be careful from the haboobs pulling over, pull aside, stay alive. And also when you see all the puddling on that freeway, there's a lot of oil that comes back up. Roads are slick, so slow down and be careful. Let's show you some new video that is just into the newsroom. This gives you an idea of how powerful these storms are. You're seeing some choppy water, windy conditions. This is in the Peoria area. We want to thank our viewer Art for sharing this one.
Yeah, normally Ventana Lakeside, I mean, it's normally a nice, pretty little water area.
Pretty
there.
calm.
Pretty calm
normally.
In the landscaping there, but not
choppy.
right now. Caitlin Freeman sending this video, lightning strike in downtown Mesa. Caitlin, there it is right there. Look at that.
Wow.
Some good little bolts of lightning there. And the nice accompanying thunder, of course, as well. It's been a light show throughout the entire valley here. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for sending that in. Again, share at ABC15.com.
And this is that shot from our chief photographer, Danny Bavaro, sharing this shot. What a stunning shot. I mean, you know, danger aside and what we've just witnessed and been through, but this is a beautiful shot right here over the valley, kind of showing you a glimpse of everything that's happening, that dust storm, the rain, you know, and everything above the valley as it moved in. He got this courtesy of his drone. This is near Camelback and 18th Street.
Yeah, and I could see the wheels moving in Amber's head there. She's diagnosing the image there.
I love that. Danny and I are going to have a chat tomorrow.
And this is a live shot right now, Nils, you said? All right, so you can see the sun fading, of course, the sunset taking place, but that's when you get those beautiful shots. My daughter was she's over in the West Valley right now, and she was telling me that, oh, the sky looks so orange and beautiful, and that's because they were dealing with the dust with the sun mixture, hadn't received that rain just yet.
This is our Bill Miley giving us this shot. This is another beautiful shot right here. This is why photographers do what they do.
Ooh.
Good lightning
Bill.
right then. Oh, that was a beautiful shot.
It shows you we're still getting a lot of it.
I hope it was actually recording and we can roll that back in slow motion. Slow motion, can we roll that back?
Oops.
Yeah. That one went right across the sky. So there's cloud to ground lightning, cloud to cloud lightning, and intercloud lightning, where the lightning bolt goes from one part of the same cloud to the other. What we're concerned about here is the cloud to ground lightning, because that's what can strike us and kill us, which is why we say you don't go outside during a lightning storm, and that's what we have tonight. Again, live look at that one. You saw another lightning strike there. Getting about 125 or so in the valley on my lightning strike counter over the last hour.
It's lighting up. It's been lighting up. Yeah. All right, here's another live shot across the valley. You can see it's still hazy. It's lighting up. We're still getting some rain, and you can see the radar right next to it tracking those storms.
All right, so 7:45 has hit, and our dust storm warning for the West Valley has ended, just as we thought it would, because now it's a rain event and not a dust event. So the alerts we have still going on right now: a flash flood warning till 9:30 for parts of central Phoenix, and then a flood advisory. This is mainly for areas outside of the valley, just to the east and southeast of Queen Creek. That's going to go till 9:30 tonight as well. You can see as we look live on ABC15 Desert Doppler, we still have a lot of lightning out there. We also have some pockets of heavy rain. So I'm going to take out the lightning for just a bit. Just little pockets here and there where you see red and orange on the radar. Those are some downpours. For the most part, though, as you look at the big picture here across the Phoenix metro area, most neighborhoods are in the green. So we're talking light to moderate rain with just a few pockets in Scottsdale, Tempe, Central Phoenix, Laveen, and Surprise, where the intensity is a bit stronger at this hour. Everything is going to be moving from east to west over the next couple of hours. And again, we're starting to lose the severity, which is good. Now it's we can kind of relax and just enjoy the rain situation. The only thing to still watch out for is the flooding potential in parts of Phoenix under that flash flood warning, and of course the lightning. We still have some highly electrified storms out there, so we kind of need to have that clear out first before we go out and smell the rain and enjoy it and check our rain gauges and all those things we love to do after us desert dwellers get rain after a long period of time. As far as that dust storm goes, we will get an idea from ASU tomorrow as to what category tonight's dust storm was on our new Phoenix dust storm scale. Last night's was a Cat 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 would have been like the July 5th, 2011 one, which is one of the worst on record, but it's all based on the concentration of the dust. So we'll get an idea first thing in the morning, and we'll share that with you. But if you were curious, last night's dust storm was a Category 3 on the scale. Tonight's is probably going to be lower than that, but we'll get an idea tomorrow morning.
Amber, if I can, what's the importance of that? People may go, okay, why do we care about a scale when it comes to dust?
Yeah, so for years, people have wanted a way to kind of gauge how bad was that. And really the conversation was it as bad as July 5th, 2011? Because anyone who was here for that remembers how gnarly. That's the gauge, right? So some professors at ASU and those of us that work as meteorologists in the Valley, so myself, some folks at the Flood Control District of Maricopa County, at Maricopa County Air Quality and Control, a lot of SRP, a lot of entities across the Valley that employ meteorologists, we all kind of got together and said, okay, how can we do this? And how could we make it relevant for people? So it's not like the hurricane Saffir-Simpson scale where you measure it while the storm is going on. It's more like the enhanced Fujita scale for tornadoes, where you go after the fact and go, okay, how bad was that? So that's what we do. And we look at the concentration of the dust storm. So it's not how tall it was or how big it looked, because visibility is hard to measure. But what we do have across the valley is a series of air quality monitors. And so we could tap into those air quality monitors and say, okay, what was the concentration of the dust during the dust storm? And so that's how we can measure it. So last night's storm, we had a few air quality monitors, specifically one near the Loop 202 in Ahwatukee that measured dust particles in the air at over 3,000 micrograms per cubic meter squared. And so that put it as a Cat 3. So we measure how much dust is in the sample of air, and then we assign it a category on the dust scale, and it gives people an idea of, just how bad it was, and
is that data
helps them
used?
prepare.
Will it be compiled and then used for something?
Yeah, it is compiled right now on the new Phoenix Dust website. So phoenixdust.asu.edu, and you can even go back and look at historic dust storms. So we've got everything on there for the last decade plus, and you can see what those gauges were showing as the dust rolled in. So there was our Cat 3 last night. This actual video came in from someone who was flying into Sky Harbor, and they sent it into ASU through our new dust scale website. So ASU is kind of hosting all of this, and they submitted that video. So
what a shot.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And there was another ground stop issued yesterday as well. So
yeah.
A lot of those planes were flying around, as is the case today here at Sky Harbor. There are about 23,000, we're just getting word, about 23,000 without power at this moment. Right now, that's SRP and APS. Restoration time anywhere from the next hour until later at 10:30 tonight. You're looking at a live camera shot of the Loop 202 and Arizona Avenue. You can see there is still rain coming down and a lot of puddling on the freeway right there.
One of those areas that has a power outage right now, actually about 1,000 customers, is just along the I-17 in a stretch from, let's see here, just south of Indian School Road up through Bethany Home Road. There's a series of power line investigations, if you want, incident calls in that area. So that lines up with SRP's power outages right now. So again, if you live in that particular area, 19th Avenue and Indian School, heading up north to Bethany Home, that is where a power outage is right now, and there could be possibly lines down on the ground in that area as well.
All right, we want to get out to our Lillian Donahue. She is in an area that we were talking about potential flooding, and you can see all that water on the roadway right there. What are you seeing out there, Lillian?
Yeah, right now you're looking at plenty of inches on the water here on the right side. Right now we're on 32nd Street. We're in Phoenix, 32nd Street, heading northbound toward Thomas. And this really is, when we were talking about that, how that pooling goes down on those lower parts of the valley, this is exactly where we're talking about here. This is, again, 32nd Street. We're heading north, but as you can see, just look at all of that runoff here on the right side. We're trying to stay as far to the left as possible here to try and stay as high of ground as possible, like where that Toyota is just here to the left of us, because further right, we don't necessarily know how deep that water goes, but I will go so as far to say that this road here, if you're on 32nd Street in Phoenix here, this is, you're going to encounter some flooding. And I would stay off of Cambridge here to the right, completely flooded in that turnway onto Cambridge. We're coming up here on Windsor as well. Other things that we've noticed here coming off of 32nd, if you're on 202, it gets a little dicey. There's going to be some debris that is on kind of that off-ramp area, a lot of runoff on that off-ramp as well. And here on Thomas, just notice that Thomas and 32nd, we're going to take a right here on Thomas. We're seeing a lot of stop and go with the lights here that are on and off. Looks like these lights are on only on a stoplight capacity. What we've noticed though, back down near McDowell, that was completely out of power as crews are actively trying to get that power back up and running. So when you're looking at stoplights right now, treat every single one of them, even if it's out, as a full stop, and make sure that you're following all traffic rules here, because you could have one block that has power, another block that does not have power. Right here to the right, looks like there's been also the wind has knocked down some of those barriers, temporary barriers that were put up around a construction site too. So those are some of the things that you're going to be seeing in this part of Phoenix. We're on Thomas Road right now near 34th Street, driving down. So it just depends on the block, but certainly you're going to see some damage. You are going to see some form of flooding on 32nd Street. So those are the worst that we've seen so far when it comes to water on the road, debris on the road. really what we're seeing on the back end of all of this, and that strong wind, strong rain, all of the things, Amber, that you have been talking about all night, and we've been seeing it really word by word as you've been telling us where it is and what's going on. We've been seeing it here on the ground, Amber.
Yeah, Lillian, we appreciate you tracking these storms with us across the valley. You're right in the thick of it. I've been saying this Perry Park site is the one to watch over the last 30 to 45 minutes as we've just kept seeing the rainfall total in that site grow. It's up to 1.30 inches of rain. It's at the heart of this flash flood warning that we're tracking right now. Perry Park, if you're not familiar, located near Thomas and 32nd Street. Right kind of in the bullseye of this flash flood warning that's been issued. That red polygon shows the areas under the flash flood warning. It goes until 9:30 tonight. And remember, flash flood warnings, they usually continue long after the storms end because the runoff continues long after the storms end. So that's where we're going to be concentrating our efforts here over the next couple of hours as we continue to kind of track the impacts of this storm. We still have a lot of lightning, over 100 strikes in the last hour. A flood advisory till 9:30 down near Florence and Florence Junction. And here's the motion on the radar. Everything's moving from east to west, so the West Valley is going to get in on some of this action too. We've already had some downpours near Surprise and Peoria, and now we're getting some storms kind of building over the Estrellas, and those will start to track in out toward Goodyear and Buckeye over the next couple of hours. So we've got a lot still on ABC 15 Desert Doppler, but the dust alert is gone, and at this point the severe threat is gone as well. I do not expect to see any more severe thunderstorm warnings issued. What we're going to see happen for the next hour or two is light to moderate rain, still some lightning mixed in, and areas of flooding from the downpours that have hit earlier tonight. So we'll keep an eye on it here for you. Power outages still ongoing for hours as well. So check with APS and SRP, depending on who your provider is, for estimated restoration times. And do not go near any downed power lines. Very dangerous situation out there. Do not attempt to approach any of those electrified lines. If power is out in your area, make sure you keep your fridge closed, your freezer closed to try to contain that cold air. And restoration time should be happening here in the next couple of hours. It doesn't take a day or two usually here in the valley, you guys. It's usually hours.
Let me ask you this, Amber. With the little moisture that we've gotten, how far behind on what we should have received by this time of year are we?
In the monsoon. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let me pull that graphic up real quick. You know, we came off of a really dry winter and spring, and so that's kind of why we were anticipating an earlier onset to the monsoon. Year to date, we should be about 2 3/4 of an inch higher than where we're at year to date, 0.32 inches. So we've got a lot of making up to do.
We do.
But I do think we can do it. There's a couple of factors here. One, we've got El Nino brewing, and it could be a super El Nino. And, you know, El Nino doesn't always bring wetter than normal monsoon conditions. But what I think is going to happen this year is that it's really going to feed hurricanes in the eastern Pacific. And so as we head into August and September, we're going to have to watch out for remnant moisture from those storms to move in. So that could be a factor. And then El Nino does typically bring wetter than normal winter conditions. So there is some hope that we could, at least, if not long term, at least temporarily, put a big dent in the rain and snowfall deficits across Arizona over the next year.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Okay, I want to send it back to Lillian right now. 36th Street in Granada, if I have that correct. Looks like they are shutting down because of flowing water in that area. Lillian, tell us what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, what you're looking at right now here, can you see right to the right? You see that sign, the Granada sign, and you'll see it kind of coming down from the pole here, the power lines that are down right now. I mean, somebody's walking on the sidewalk near this down power line, but police are here. Phoenix police are on 36th Street in Granada. They're not allowing any drivers to go further past this area. They're trying to kind of direct traffic on different areas. Looks like they're also trying to tell that woman who's walking to stay away from that power line that you can see on Granada here that is down on the ground right now. We know that crews are actively out trying to fix this and work on this, but right now Phoenix police have shut down 36th Street from Granada down south. Looks like it's about 1 or 2 blocks just south of here, or it looks like probably 1 block here. But, you know, I talked to you just a few minutes ago when we were on 32nd Street near Thomas and Oak and how flooded that was. This is just 1 street over, or a few streets over on 36th. So this whole area, I would say, from, you know, that Thomas to McDowell, between 32nd all the way to 36th, all the way to you know, this whole area more towards south of Arcadia. This area is going to have a lot of different spots in it, just like this. So, and we were talking, you know, anchors, we were all talking about this earlier, about how important it is to pay attention when something like this is happening. Stay away from that. They were even telling folks to kind of turn around and walk away just now. So this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about all night. We'll bring it back to you guys.
You're exactly right, Lillian, and just be careful out and about, because this is probably one of many areas where they're seeing down power lines and damage.
Yeah, there are tons of calls on the list right now. The Phoenix Regional Dispatch Center has a ton of down power line calls, things that they're checking on. Of course, that's all tied to the thousands of power outages that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, we're going to continue following this all night. We're going to have much more tonight at 10 o'clock on ABC 15. Please join us there. You can always get updated at abc15.com. Stay safe.